Hi there, my name is Melissa Zorhoff and I'm the 6th grade mentor here at iAcademy Global. I also teach middle school language arts for all 3 levels as well as middle school Spanish. Welcome!
Hello, Mr. Andy here. I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you who I am. I am a science teacher here at iAcademy Global. I am also a 7th grade mentor. You can kind of see some pictures of what I like to do this summer. Explore, be outdoors, go camping with my family, and be adventurous as much as I can. All right, welcome to iAcademy Global.
Hi there, my name is Ryan Martinez and I'm the 8th grade mentor here at iAcademy Global. I also teach middle school math and I'm glad that you're joining us. I'm looking forward to a great year.
Hello everyone, my name is Miss Gabrielle and this is my first year at iAcademy Global teaching K through 8 special education. So I have been with InnoAcademy for the last 4 years and I'm super excited to jump into the virtual world this year with you guys. So I will be working with a variety of kids and jumping into live lessons with you guys there. So I look forward to getting to know you more.
Hello, my name is Miss Christina, and I'm the school social worker at iAcademy Global. I'm so excited that you are here joining us, and I hope I get to connect with you sometime soon. I'm married to my husband Vince. We just celebrated 20 years, which feels like a really long time, and we have an 8, almost 9-year-old daughter named Grace. You'll see her around if you come to campus because she goes to our sister school and is often wandering around the building.
So one of the things that's going to make us most successful here at iAcademy is engagement. Engagement with the content, engagement with one another, and engagement in our progress. You guys are going to see later on in this presentation an engagement continuum that talks about expectations that we have with engagement for parents, for students, and for teachers. Engagement is essential for success. So here are some good things to know as you start your life as an iAcademy Global middle schooler. Like we said, engagement is super important, and we've got a variety of unique and intentional ways to engage. One of those is through live lessons twice a week where we meet together and we learn together, and we do live learning no matter where you are location-wise. It's just like any brick and mortar class, it just happens to be in a virtual setting called a Zoom room. This is required for middle school because it gives us what we call structured flexibility. It gives us structure for 2 mornings a week so that the rest of your week you can use your schedule to drive what you need as a learner. Here we're able to interact with one another, students to teacher, teacher to students, and student to student. This is live lessons Monday and Wednesday mornings. Another way to engage with one another is through our virtual office, which is also used in Zoom. This is where us teachers live during the school day. You guys can chat with each other, you can chat with us, we engage in super fun activities, reminders, announcements, and this is where you can bring your questions for one-on-one tutoring help as well. So live lessons are a really unique part of who we are, and the biggest reason why we do them is because learning together helps us grow. Here is where we get to do some of those hands-on learning things. So it's learning how to take notes, it's reading books together, it's doing experiments, it's using that whiteboard and whiteboard marker to work through math problems. This is where we come together regardless of location. You're going to talk in a little bit about the schedule that we have created during live lesson days. That starts with morning meeting, which is all of us middle schoolers and teachers all together. We dive into core live lesson classes, and then we are intentional about having brain breaks in between live lesson classes so that we give your body and your brain what it needs throughout the day. So when we say brain breaks, we mean getting up, moving around, stretching, maybe doing some yoga or some running or some, going up and down the stairs at your house regardless of where you are, getting up and moving away from the computer. Us teachers work really hard to do the same thing. Here's a little more in-depth schedule of what our middle school schedule looks like on those live lesson days. So please make sure to put this somewhere, put it up somewhere that you see every day so you guys can know kind of what your time frame is for live lesson days. In your welcome packet, you should have received a list of middle school materials that are necessary for success with us here at iAcademy Global. Things like a notebook for every single one of your classes, a planner of some sort, a learning space so that you can utilize all of those materials, and then engaging in collaboration like discussion boards, conferences, live lessons. All of these things build not only your connection to our content, but your connection to one another. And there will be times where we'll say, hey, pull out your whiteboard and whiteboard marker, pull out your ELA journal, because these materials are essential to really reach that potential of learning that we have here. The virtual office is one of the most powerful tools that we have to connect and collaborate with one another. Here, no matter where we are physically, we can connect with teachers and students that we learn with every single day. Us teachers live here to answer your questions, to help you, with projects, to facilitate partner work with other of your peers. All day, every day, from 9 until 3, us teachers live here. You can connect, and this should be your first line of communication every day since we are here all day long every day. Think about the virtual office like our classroom. We are here to help you, but we also have high expectations that you're using appropriate language, that you are using appropriate academic use of the virtual office. It's not a place to file share or to show your newest YouTube video. It is a place to collaborate with one another and learn about each other.
So another way to engage with other staff or students is our Refuel coffee shop. And it's a physical space where students can come in and do their work here on site, and they can work with each other or independently, whichever kind of works best for them. But it's a good place to collaborate, to kind of build those social skills and interact with people in real life. We offer Refuel here on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's a great thing to check out at least once. And we also have synergy sessions. Those can be both either on-site or off-site. We try to make them whole school, so they often involve they range from K-12, and it's again another chance to interact in person. So some of the synergy sessions we've done in the past, we've gone to Art Prize in Grand Rapids, we've gone ice skating, we have a beach day at the end of the year, but we also like to focus on some stewardship things because it is one of our foundations. And so we've done some work with the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. We ran a food drive here, and we've had a couple student-led ideas where students have kind of planned the event themselves. I know for Valentine's Day we had students decorating and writing notes to each other, just positive things that they liked, and set up games. And again, it's just more ways to interact in person and to kind of get this community feel.
Hello, Mr. Andy here again. Just wanted to talk about this engagement continuum. This is also in your packet that you have received. And what this is kind of like I promise or I will, I am going to statements that you as a parent or you as a student or me as their teacher promise to do throughout this year. And if you kind of look at some of our examples, it just gives us a reminder if we're wondering, hey, I'm a new virtual family, I'm a new virtual student. What do I need to do? What is my job in this? What do I need to make sure I uphold to make sure my child or my student is successful? So you kind of look at these, and just to read off a couple, I connect as a parent. I will connect with my child on a regular basis to learn about what he or she is learning. Hey, great. You might already do that. You might be like, hey, that sounds awesome. Just a reminder that we are a team and we need to work together. And so like a teacher one will be, I have an agenda for your courses updated for you each day. Perfect. I'm going to plan a lesson for you guys, or as a teacher, you're going to have a lesson that you're going to learn, an assignment every day. And what does that look like? So I'm going to make sure that you know that previous to starting that lesson or starting that work. And as a student, I check my calendar for my coursework each day. I have the learning materials ready before I start my class. I am responsible for the learning tools, my computer, my charger. I'm responsible for the technology. So we have all these statements that we promise to complete, we promise to uphold, we promise to do these things to make sure we're a successful team. Okay? And you'll take a look at this. It's a big long list of things that you promise to do, you promise to uphold. And we want parents to look at them, we want students to look at them, we want them maybe have a conversation about them to look, that's my job, I'm going to do that. You do your job, I'm going to do mine, and we're going to work together to make this successfully, to make it a successful journey. Okay? And let us know if you have questions. This is in your welcome packet, so you'll have time to look at those. I want to take a look at this note about plagiarism to kind of talk through some of these things. Basically, plagiarism is copying websites, images, text, or anyone's work that's not yours and not citing it, not correctly citing it. And what we find as a virtual school is a lot of our students, it becomes easy sometimes to Google an answer, to copy and paste an answer, to look at information online because everything is virtual. And so we just want to put a reminder out there for parents and students to keep your eye out for plagiarism, for copying and pasting, and do your best to create your own, to rewrite it, to cite it, to make it your own, to make your answers, and to just make sure you're honest with your schoolwork. All right, so question that needs to be answered is, how am I graded? How will I be graded during my coursework? Well, depending on what you turn in, you'll have daily coursework, daily assignments or discussions, projects, quizzes, or tests. That is part of your grade. And the other part of your grade might be a participation piece. Participation in live lessons, that attendance. Participation when it comes to what you turn in and how you turn it in homeroom, and what you do throughout your classes. So think about what you'll be graded, quizzes and tests and assignments like you would in normal brick and mortar, but then also that participation. What does that look? How much do you connect with your teachers and connect and participate in the activities that we offer? Okay? All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about that attendance piece and what that looks like. And I gave you a picture of kind of what Zoom looks like of us attendance in one of our classes. It's kind of funny because you have Mr. Andy here with a wig. One of our students, Matthew, who's dressed up as his favorite teacher, somebody with a beard. And then so you kind of, it's fun. Classes are meant to be fun. And so I show this picture, one, because it kind of shows the fun, and it shows some of our students in their learning environments. Some of them are inside, some are outside, some are at the kitchen table, some are at their desk, some of them are at the library. Just kind of shows where they are. And then also it talks about that 2 days a week your live lessons are required for students to attend. So you are required, your student is required to attend the 2 live lessons, the 2 mornings, all day for their core classes. They're required for those days to attend live lessons. And some of us are saying, hey, like my student has, or my child has a dentist appointment. Just like you would a brick and mortar school, you just let us know, hey, my child's going to miss your class today. They have a dentist appointment. We're leaving early for vacation. What can I do to make sure my student gets caught up? What do I need to do to make sure we can leave on Friday for Disney World, right? Just like you would at a brick and mortar. Just that communication piece is important, but knowing that your student, your child needs to attend all of their live lessons on Mondays and Wednesdays. From 9 a.m. to, some of them have a live lesson till 2 p.m. There's breaks, there's lunch, there's cool stuff happening in between, but you need to make sure that they're attending all of those live lessons on those 2 days. All right, and please let us know if you have questions on these. I want to talk more about engagement and attendance a little bit, and just kind of take a look at some of these bulleted points of what's expected, okay? And so if you look at the very first one with the little clock, 4 to 6 hours of schoolwork every day. Now, some of us might be like, whoa, that's a lot of coursework. There's breaks in there, right? But also, that's a school day, 4 to 6 hours of schoolwork. You could start at 7 and work to maybe that 4 hours and get out a little bit early, or you could work at 9 and get out a little bit early or later. So we want families to remember that there is required every week, every day, 4 to 6 hours of coursework. And that's how students engage. Now, if students in live lessons, that counts as some of their coursework. That counts as their engagement. On a Tuesday or Thursday or Friday, they don't have live lessons. Their coursework looks a little bit different. When they look at their electives and their other classes and their core classes, what does that look like of coursework? So 4 to 6 hours. And as a parent, as a family, what you need to do is remind them and recommend to them that they do that 4 to 6 hours, and be responsible and say, I'm not going to make you let the dog out. I'm not going to make you babysit little brother or sister, because in this 4 to 6 hour time, you need to be doing schoolwork. So I'm going to reserve that time and respect that time that you need to be doing coursework. Okay? All right, another thing that's on there when we look at our engagement, what's important for us to stay engaged is that two-way communication, where parents and student and teachers and mentors are all having conversations with each other. There's two-way. We're asking you for something, you're asking us for something, we're responding, we're working together as a team. Okay, we talked about the live lesson attendance. Complete assignments by due dates. That's self-explanatory, right? Make sure you're turning your work in reasonable time. And then meetings with mentor teachers or service providers. So you're having a meeting depending on if it's virtually or on site, if it's conferences, if it's just kind of a quick connect, if it's something serious that's going on, you're having your meetings with your teacher and mentors to make sure you're communicating things and working with us as a team. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about acute excuse, wrong excuse. I'm not going to run through this list. I just want to say a couple things, right? We all have reasons that are important to us for us to be excused. Make sure you communicate those things. Make sure you tell us that you're going to be missing or your family's going to miss this because of this important thing. And then you take a look at the unexcused list and you go, hey, how can I make sure that my child's not missing school for some of these reasons? And I make sure I'm responsible and proactive to make sure like no internet. The internet goes out. Well, what do you do? Well, that's considered not excused, but also I know that I might not have control of that. So how does that look? That's where the two-way communication is super important. Whereas our job as a school is to make sure we're working with you as a family, and we're pretty reasonable. To be honest, we're very reasonable, and so we try to work with you guys as a family to make sure when something does come up, hey, how do we work around it? How do we make sure we get you back on track, or we communicate that to you and we can get your child working again, okay? All right, so I want to skip by some of these pretty quickly because I'm just going to say that there is engagement, and engagement is important. That is probably the most important piece to enrolling at iAcademy Global. How is your child engaging in their coursework? How is your child engaging with their teachers and their other classmates, and how are they engaging with this virtual community? And that's what we look at as a school. How do we help you be successful in the engagement? Okay, and I want to talk about one final thing, which is this truancy. Truancy occurs when there's a lack of attendance or engagement and it becomes a chronic issue. And this is when, as a family, we don't have your child turning in coursework, we don't have you engaging or two-way communicating with a teacher or mentor, and we haven't heard from you in a while. And so what we do is we get help and we set up interventions to help you understand that engagement is important, but also that we need to keep you on track and we need to keep your family on track to the best of our ability.
This year, we are super excited to be launching a new process that we're going to use to teach the attributes and skills that we know students need to be successful in their lives and in their careers and when they move on beyond the schooling. That process is known by the acronym RISE. RISE stands for respect, integrity, stewardship, and engagement. And those 4 attributes will be proactively taught to each of your students. You can expect to hear them talking about lessons that they've learned about each of those attributes as they relate to different areas of their lives, whether it would be collaboration with students or collaboration with teachers, or whether it has to do with their environment that they're working in, how to be respectful, how to have integrity in the way that we move amongst each other and with each other, both in our device and our materials, our effort, our environment, and also collaboration. We're really excited about it, and that will be rolled out over the course of the year.
So, we're a virtual school, things happen online, right? Well, you have to be somewhere. So, what does your physical workspace look like? Does it look something like this? Is it, a mess? Is it tidy? I know this is not quite what my room looks like. It's definitely not Mr. Andy's because he does not read that many books. But, notice how it's organized, right? Some spaces might be better than others. Maybe a desk or, a nice quiet office space, maybe the kitchen table. Those might be better places to work than laying back in your bed or going somewhere noisy. So make sure that you have a space that when you sit down here, it's kind of your school time. You get into school mode. You have your physical resources available, so you have your notebooks, your pens and pencils, anything you might need. Easy to grab, not too many distractions. So Connexus is where all of our courses are housed. It's like the brick and mortar school building, right? So when you log in, you'll click into your class, and that's like walking through that front door of that classroom. When you sign into it, you'll see that this screen here kind of comes up for an English class, and there's a lot here, but the first place you should know is this navigation. This is where you can go to switch between the different courses that you're focused on at any one time. And for the week, you'll have an agenda up here. So your teachers will put up assignments that you're doing that day. You can go ahead and look, what might be due later on this week. Maybe you want to work ahead. And that will all be looking at this agenda here. The next place you'll go is all your coursework is on the left. You'll have a to-do list as well, so assignments that are due this day or in the next day or two will show up on the left side here, as well as this session folders. Sessions are the times we have in between our break weeks. So they're typically anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks long before we have that week break to kind of recoup. Another place you can go is this calendar icon on the left here. And clicking on this for, say, this English class, you'll be able to look ahead at the whole month and see when things are due. Some days might be heavier than others, or you don't have school on some of these days. And then finally, if you were to click on that session folder from before, you'll see that this is session 1, so this is the first session of the school year, right? So from the end of summer break up through our first break, it's only 3 weeks long, and it's broken down into week 1, week 2, week 3. When you click into each one of those, you'll see what is due that week. As any assignments you have to read or learn, tests, quizzes will all show up in these folders. So a couple need to knows, working ahead and our late policy, when to notify teachers. These things, it really all boil down to communicate. We want to know what's going on. If you are going to be gone for a break week or for a week that's not you're going on a break, but it's not a break week, just let us know so that we can plan ahead, you can work ahead, or maybe you have that material ahead of time so that you can kind of work on it here and there throughout the week so you don't fall so far behind. But the biggest thing is just letting us know. Our late policy is, we say 3 to 5 days. Try to have your assignments in. If you need additional extended time or you're having trouble submitting things, we understand and we're totally flexible, but you have to communicate that with us. So communicating with your teachers, right? Connecting with us. Our main tool for this year is a program, an app called Zoom. And this is where we'll be doing our live lessons on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is how you'll connect with your teachers if you need help. This is where you'll go for your virtual office to interact with other students, with your teachers, for homeroom. We used to have webmail. We're not using that anymore. We have email. Your Outlook account will be another way that you can contact us. We can contact you if you have a longer message to say or having a bigger issue. Zoom has a mobile app, so if you want help getting that set up, you can feel free to reach out to us or when you pick up your device. And a typical Zoom meeting might look something like this, where we have a teacher in front of you. As more students come in or other teachers, it'll be little squares pop up with everybody's camera, so we really feel connected and we're really together. Again, this is where you'll meet with your mentor as well if you need to connect. Just, hey, what's going on? Quick 5-minute chat, and then you're back on your way working on schoolwork, or if you're done for the day. Really a great tool this year, guys.
All right, so Mr. Andy here again. I wanted to talk to you about this connection opportunity at iAcademy Global. And what this is, if a student wishes to pursue an option outside of iAcademy Global courses within their community, an experience or an opportunity, a physical activity maybe, or a club, maybe it's a group or a lesson or tutoring, or maybe just a cool opportunity that they're doing within the community, they can get coursework and schoolwork and academic credit for that within their iAcademy Global class. And how does this look? That might be your question, right? So they have a choice of 2 courses that they can choose. They can choose PE or music. And this is all for K-12 students at iAcademy Global. And let's say a student chooses PE. Let's say the student wants to play soccer this session or this season. And what they do is they have this community connection on the soccer team they play, where they're going to play soccer, do this awesome fun thing that they're doing. And then they're going to turn in this activity log and these pictures and this fun experience that they have through their iAcademy Global curriculum. And they're going to collaborate with their peers and view what other kids are doing and kind of show this cool opportunity that they were able to do. And they'll get school credit for that. So that's one option. That's a community connection option. The other option would be what all the other iAcademy students go through, which is they have the iAcademy curriculum. They have iAcademy activities that are built in that program. And they're going to collaborate with the same peers and show this their classmates what kind of cool things they're doing just within the curriculum. The community connection option is just what kind of cool things they're doing in the community. So it could be like a karate class, a piano class. It could be maybe a ballet or dance class. Anything physical activity or anything music, you would get this community option where your student or your child is already doing this fun thing. They already go to this cool club. They're already in this group. How do we get school credit for already doing this cool stuff? Well, here's how you do it. This community connection option. And they're both important and they're both valued the same, right? A classic option where a student doesn't have that connection yet. They're just going to do their iAcademy curriculum. They're going to do the activities. They're going to collaborate with peers. They're going to do this awesome stuff within that class. Or the community option. They're going to do that stuff outside of the classroom, outside of the curriculum, within their community, maybe on a global side. Okay? All right, and let us know if you have questions.
So if Zoom is not the fitting option for whatever trouble you're having or way you want to communicate, we really stress that you go there first. It's just immediate. It's easy to connect right away. But if you need other options, we have our email accounts here and phone numbers for mentors. So these are our work numbers. If you want to jot those down, feel free to text us, to call us, email. We respond to all of it. We try to get back to you within 24 hours. So at iAcademy, we stress not just the academic piece, but also the whole child connection. And we have a bunch of things in place to kind of focus on that and to grow these different areas outside of an academic setting, right? Because you're people too, and that means you have dynamic personalities and skill sets, and we want to bring those to light. And so that's why we have things like mentors, right? The check-in, how are things going? Doesn't have to be school related. What's going on in your life? We have live lessons, just another way to connect face-to-face, interact with other students, synergy sessions like we've talked about, those additional field experiences, community connection classes. There's Tech Center for high school. We have Refuel on site here, our stewardship opportunities, and robotics. And then there are things that we can't offer so easily right now, and really stress that if you're not getting plugged in to the things that iAcademy is offering, that you find some other way to connect with your community, whether that's through clubs, your own stewardship activities outside of the school here. If you do sports, just some way to get on a team. If you art, music, theater, any of these things. iAcademy has a flexible schedule, and we really emphasize that you try and take advantage of that. So iAcademy does have a high school robotics team. They did quite well this year. And if you are interested in that in the future, or maybe you want to get involved with robotics now, we do have some smaller opportunities that don't go the full season like high school does. And you can reach out and get a hold of Mr. Reed if you want to find out more information about robotics opportunities. So just a couple tech tips. If you want to stay in the loop for kind of last minute changes, typically it's with weather. If we do have snow days here, which is kind of a weird thing with a virtual school, but if you want to get those notifications, parents use, if you could text the message iAcademy to the phone number 84483. Those are those urgent messages that'll get pushed out. Another thing is shutting your computer down completely each night, or as close to each night as you can, because updates go out and they can't run if the computer wasn't shut down properly or didn't get shut down at all. And the final thing is just treat your computer with respect. They are not the cheapest things, and so we ask that you carry it with 2 hands. Don't hold it by the screen. Try and keep it clean. Please don't eat donuts directly over it. Treat it with respect. So the next step is to come on in and come see one of us in the tech area, and we'll get you your connection card. We'll collect completed forms. You'll get your device, and there are just a couple steps you'll have to do to make sure everything's set up and working properly. And it's a great opportunity to connect with your mentor, try and get to know the other middle school teachers a little bit too, and just get a feel for what it's like here at Refuel. So the things that you'll do once you do come in, get your device, is you'll sign into your computer, which you'll use your iAcademy email address for that. Make sure that you have all your courses that show up when you sign into Connexus. There's an email address icon on your desktop. You'll click that to get Zoom set up. You'll create your Zoom account, sign into that app, and make sure that everything's rolling smooth. and you'll be all set.